Welcome to Panda Head Studios. Now that you're here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and join the Panda Force. Today we are going to be talking about Get Backers Episode 1.
This show is from 2002. It's about two characters who run a business called the Get Backers, and the whole premise of the show is they find lost items of a personal value, sentimental specifically, for people, and there's all sorts of chaos and anime tropey comedy. And the two main characters are named Bon and Ginji, and they both look like they just spend an hour a day with the fork and a light socket, and that's how their hair is done.
Yeah, just a bit.
Oh, and they have superpowers. But that's how the first episode treats it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they have superpowers.
It really does. Which I will say, for a superpower show, like, I kind of like. I enjoyed the fact that the powers are just, like, it's part of who they are. It doesn't define who they are. Like, you watch something like, more recent, My Hero Academia, like, everyone's defined by their powers. Like, they have other personality traits, so I'm not saying that they don't, but, like, their power is part of what defines who they are. In Get Backers, it's Genji can generate lightning, and it's just a thing he does. They explain
You can make
it.
a lot of money doing it, but they struggle with money.
They do. They sleep out of an old Volkswagen buggy and like run their business out of that, and then like partly out of this one like bar that they go to all the time. That's like, as Bond puts it, like run down and shabby. Even though it looks really nice inside. Like, I've been in run down shabby places. Honky Tonk is not run down and shabby. It may not have a lot of business, but it looks nice inside. But the show for me, like, overall, like, this first episode in particular is okay. I mean, you get a good introduction to Genji and Ban as characters. You sort of, you do get a good sense of their repertoire and how they act, and the fact that Ban is a very serious individual, whereas Genji is more lighthearted and funny. You also get like little hints at like Genji having like the anime trope of tragic backstory.
He was wrote with the most tragic backstory out there.
Yeah, pretty much. And they go to get this like kitty mascot for this girl Natsumi, who like the reason she's hiring them is because it's one of a kind. It was made by her mother, who is now dead, and like a cop is the one that took it, and he's corrupt and he's making a deal with the Yakuza. It's tropey.
That was actually my favorite moment of the show, was that specific scene where she just decides to take a shortcut and goes through a dark alleyway,
The reason she's taking the shortcut though is because like she'd gone to the movies and then went movie hopping.
Yeah, she has to get home or wherever she's got to go in time. And she sees a stray cat, and she is taking a picture of it, and the guy's having a back alley deal, and sees the flash of the camera thinking he's taking a picture of him. Which at the end of the episode, when he's looking through her phone, he's just like, "I saw a cat picture. Did you delete the picture?"
Yeah, even though she's just a cat. She likes cats. She's a crazy cat high schooler.
Like, for me personally, like, this show was like just okay because it was it came out in 2002.
Yeah.
And its animation style really shows. Like, there's such a like the frame rate. It's not very. They don't have a lot of frames in it, so the movements aren't as like fluid. And even for that era, there were
some that had more fluidity out of it. Yeah.
But it looked good in the way of the look, but but then there was also like they had to make certain choices, like they did that like cliched anime thing, which they still do today, but it looks a little smoother, where they're like fighting over a pizza, and instead of it actually showing them like fight each other and beat each other up, they're just constantly flashing into different positions of wrestling, like a cartoon.
Yeah, with like smoke clouds and
Yeah,
stuff.
smoke cloud. One time it's around his neck, then they're bear hugging each other, and
Yeah.
It's a fun. I'll admit it's amusing, but that's the best way I can really describe the show. Is it kind of got for me? It just got like a
Yeah.
every once in a while, like and the dialogue was absolutely so poorly done.
Yeah, it's not good. It's really terrible. Like they explain Genji's powers twice the exact same way. He's like an electric eel. He can generate his own. Like that's how they explain it. That's how they explain his powers twice from the same character. Bond is the one that says it.
Well, because it's an insult. Like it makes sense. He calls him you electric eel when he's insulting him.
Yeah. But I just the fact that they use the same reference to explain his powers.
Yeah.
Coming from the same person, it like I would have been more okay with it had someone observing Genji been like, "Oh, that kind of reminds me of like the way an electric eel generates electricity or something like that." But yeah, like I do agree. Like the dialogue for this, especially this first episode, isn't great. Like the best part of it is really when they're riffing off of each other and it the backing and forthing of them more than like talking to other people.
Well, and that's where I will like give them some credit on why like I could watch more of the show, but I'm not going to go out of my way to watch more of the show. Is the fact that there's a really good camaraderie. Like the voice actors are doing a good job, and the way the artistry and just the story choices, like you really do get a good sense of what's going on and how much they like how well they work together and how they're always doing. It's like a buddy cop thing where they're just
Yeah,
doing
it really
foolish
is.
things, and that's like where the charm is. If I just don't like how like there's not enough that's going on, and like there's just a lot of stuff that's just kind of like immersion breaking for me. But it like and but I don't want to crap on the show entirely because it's not the worst show. It's not any Gundam Wing where it's just absolutely dreadful. Like there, it was something I could watch. It was like you could sit down if you need an anime that it's gonna go through. You're gonna feel like you're going through it quick. You need to kill 20 minutes. This is the perfect show on that end.
Yeah. And I will say, like, personally, like, I have seen this whole show, like, all 49 episodes multiple times. It definitely gets a lot better later on. The show suffers, like, from what a lot of early 2000 shows did, which is, like, when they were approved for a season, instead of nowadays where seasons are anywhere from, like, 12 to, like, 24 episodes, a lot of early aughts shows got 49 or 50 episodes. So they have a little bit, like, slower burn in the beginning than you do now. Now it's okay, we need 3 episodes to really catch people. Whereas like early 2000 stuff as like it was becoming more widespread, like you could have a slower burn and people were still interested just because of like what was available at the time. Whereas now is there's so much available that you really got to catch your audience. And I think that's sort of where that comes from is the fact that like it comes from an era where it wasn't as widespread. Like the community was very like I mean the community was large, but like it wasn't.
There's a lot more niche. America was just being broken into.
Yeah.
Well, and the like heavy and like influence of where there's Japanese animated
Exactly
stuff coming through.
But I will say like personally, like I would say give this show a chance. Especially there's this thing called the Infinite Fortress. Like once they get into there, that's really where the show picks up, but it does take several episodes for them to get there. It does a lot of building of characters in the beginning.
That's one of my biggest grievances with a lot of stories that really is very common in anime is like the first 10 episodes are all about story building, and like sometimes they'll do like stupid jump back flashback things, so you like, okay, here's the cool thing that's gonna happen. Now we're going to show you 10 episodes of the character building that leads up to that point, and thus diminishing that really cool scene. I mean, this show didn't do anything like that, but
No.
but just in the sense of like it's just so heavily focused on character building that they don't really like a show like Noblesse. Like the OVA is phenomenal. It does a great job developing all the characters, even like the side characters who look like main characters.
Yeah.
they do a great job developing Noblesse himself, and then you watch the first episode of the actual show, and you're even still like more hooked into where this show. It's just like,
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I definitely do.
I would have definitely enjoyed like because it's around the end of the episode. There's this really cool scene to where you see Bond's powers.
Yes.
And he can like make you see an illusion for a minute. So it, like he makes the corrupt cop like think he shot him in the head, and he's surrounded by cops.
And then he gets shot up himself. Yeah, it's great. Bond, yeah, because Bond's power is in the show they call it the Jagon, but it's I prefer like what the subtitles usually have it as, which is Evil Eye, which is really what his power is.
So you're saying watch this subtitled, like most anime, especially the early anime.
Yeah,
the voice actors usually do a terrible job. The translators suck and should not have ever had their jobs.
No, I would definitely recommend this one in Japanese with subtitles. But if it's just something you want as background noise and you don't speak Japanese, then the English is okay. It's better. So I like the subtitles better.
Yeah, I usually watch anime as subtitles.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's it for this. Like, personally, I would recommend checking it out and giving it a few episodes to see if you enjoy it.
If it's I would say if you're in anime tropes, the classic anime stuff, you like the zaniness of manga, and you like characters getting a whole lot of time to talk about the silly stuff that they have to say, and then finally get around to doing some rather hilarious things that are kind of cliched, but it's a show for preteens and teens, so like I'm like, it's not funny to me that they give a laxative pizza to the cops and they get like, it's funny that all the cops swarm in there and their plan goes haywire, but it's not funny that they're giving everyone laxative.
Yeah.
Like, it's no longer funny, but if I was 13, I'd be laughing.
Yeah, you would have been.
I'd have been dying on that stuff, but if I were like, I recommend it on that end if you enjoy that kind of anime. But otherwise, it's a soft pass. Okay. I'll say that it's a soft pass.
All right.
Like I would keep watching it if a buddy wanted to watch it. I would, which I've done. We watched it way back in the day. It's not something terrible. You're not going to be sitting there like, my friends were forcing me to watch Clan Ed. Why?
Yeah.
Clan Ed sucks. I'll get there eventually.
I really don't want to, but we will.
I have a bone to pick with that show.
Yeah. But
Claymore's better.
Oh, so much. But that's all from us.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Get Backers in the comments down below. And while you're there, don't forget to hit that like button. And now that you're part of the Panda Force, hit that bell icon for future orders.
If you're interested in gaming, check us out on Twitch. For updates, follow us on Twitter. The links are in the description down below.